Hello everybody and welcome to this Train Sim TV video. This is Mark. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Just Trains Midland Mainline Sheffield to Derby route, which will be available from Thursday the 17th of October 2019 from the Just Trains website, justtrains.net. It'll be priced at £24.99 and this is going to be similar to the Cornish Mainline video that we did. It'll be a showcase of the route. First thing I must say, it is not a review of the route. The route itself has been built by me, so I'm certainly not the person to be doing reviews of it. So I'm not going to be doing that. It's just going to be literally a showcase. There's other people on YouTube that I no doubt will be doing reviews, and you'll no doubt find those across the net there. But yeah, this is going to be a showcase, show you most of the features, tell you a bit about the route, tell you a bit about the development of it, and stuff like that, and try and give you a bit of an insight into what we've been doing. I know many of you probably all heard the same sort of stuff as I'm going to go through in the live streams, but that I've been going through in the live streams. But this video is basically the same sort of thing, just on YouTube where people can see it now permanently. So we are at Derby. This is one of the included scenarios. This is 1Q34 Derby to Hull. This scenario comes with the route. It's one of 15 that comes with the route. There's actually 27, but 12 of those are Kuju replicas of the scenarios that use payware stock. This is to give everybody a chance to drive the route because some of the scenarios do use quite a lot of payware content. So we're going to kick off here in Derby RTC. Just down the north end of the yard, waiting to head out onto the main line. There's no static stock placed around here just to stop unnecessary frame rate drops. So obviously in real life you would probably see a bit more stock in your own scenarios. You may want to put some, but there is no stock currently in Etches Park or RTC just to save on frame rate because they are busy areas which I will describe in a second. So yeah, let's kick off here. We're just going to move into Derby Station in a minute, but before we do, I'm just going to delete this message which says, "Good morning driver, please prepare your cab and then proceed to Derby Station for a short stop before heading for Sheffield." So I've done that. The game's paused at the minute, so while it's paused we'll take a little fly around Derby so I can then just drive on afterwards. So this is Derby RTC, the Railway Technology Centre. This is where Network Rail's fleet of test trains are based, in this area. It's also where Low Rams works are, so a lot of DRS Class 37s for instance come out of here. After works attention. You got custom sheds here, 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 and over the back over there. All these offices have been specially made for the route as well as those buildings down there, and then these over here on Etches Park side, which I'll go over in a minute. So yeah, you've got, as I said, you've got RTC here, which is always going to be good for scenario usage for test trains and stuff. And then you've got Etches Park depot and yard itself, which has about 10,000 lights in it. Quite nice at night when it's all lit up. Over here you have Etches Park, the two long running sheds. These are over the back. Both of these can obviously be driven into. The basic on the interiors because at this stage certainly we've got no real reason to actually do lots of stuff in there, but we may in future. Over this side you've got Litchurch Lane Works. This is just basic scenery that we've got around here. And the reason for that is that there's not really much point in us going overboard doing detail on here and using a lot of assets because at the end of the day it's only going to be used in a limited amount of scenarios. It's got the 4th rail and overhead line test track here, which has been where the S8s have been tested and stuff like that in real life. The Bombardier spelling on that building, it is intentional. It's licensing, so obviously we can't spell it Bombardier as it actually is, so we swap the E for an A. And all these sheds here are customly made. The actual initial plan was to actually do Kuju ones, but they would have looked terrible. So even though these weren't actually planned originally, we decided to get them done by asset developer Will Stead, and he did all these sheds. Each one's different slightly, and you've got quite a number of these down the back side. As I said, it's very basic, but it's there for people if they want to use it in scenarios, and that's the whole reason surrounding it. So then you got over here London Road Bridge, which is a custom asset, and you come out. The line to Birmingham heads off that way, which is very basic scenery because there's no. It's just a feeder line for scenarios coming into Derby from this end for voyages and stuff like that. So you got the London Road Junction here coming into Derby, Wayne Works Junction, and as I said, RTC, Etches Park, and then there's some lines around the back of Etches Park that feed into the back of Derby Station. Derby has been modelled as it is now, so that's post July 2018 remodelling. So it's got the 7 platforms now, with the spare line down the back there for feeding into the depot, the fuel and inspection line. Platform 7 also known as a pilot line. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 through to 6. So we'll get back in the cab now. We'll get ready to head off into Derby Station. Just need to set up the cab before we do. So there we have a yellow signal indicating platform 3, which is where we'll be heading shortly. As you can see on the hood as well. We got a Voyager there coming off the Birmingham line, and on the right EMT Class 222 heading from London. This scenario is based before the franchise changeover to East Midlands Railway, as are most of the scenarios included with the route, because the route was developed before East Midlands Railway, generally speaking. Game sound on this video is going to be quite low because otherwise you won't hear me speaking. Got Class 153 leaving in the opposite direction as we head out of Derby RTC, now crossing over, and we'll be going into platform 3 at Derby. We'll be following these 2 services northwards towards Chesterfield and Sheffield. This is one of, as I said, this is one of 15 scenarios that's included with the route. It's about 35 to 40 minutes in length, I believe. So we've cleared the crossovers, we're now on the 25 limit, but we're on a single yellow. So we'll keep it on notch 1. And just roll gradually down the platform. When you've got a lot of AI around this area, you will see the frame rate sort of drop a little bit. That's purely because there's 4,500 assets on this tile and on the tile at RTC as well. So no, it's all on one tile. It's 4,500 assets spread across one tile, and then the other surrounding assets have tiles of around 1,000 assets on each. Unavoidable really when you've got such a railway junction of this size. That is an unfortunate circumstance there, but it should overall be still above 20 or 30. It shouldn't be down to the levels of such as Waterloo and stuff like that when you've got a lot of AI around it by any means. So there we are, we've just arrived into Derby, platform number 3. Before we move on, I will take you for a little look around. So Derby Station is a custom model, obviously. Research for that was done last February 2019. We did all the Alex Ford did the research for JT there in a single day's trip. As I said, it's modelled post refurbishment, post remodelling. So platform 7 on the outside, which is the pilot line, is also known. You've also got platform 6, and then you've got 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now these station assets that we've got for this route, quite a lot of them have come with extra little parts, so like the lamps and stuff aren't actually attached to the station asset. You'll get these as included with the route, so if you're doing another route in this area, you can use the lamps and the signs and the benches and stuff like that. Can be used as other assets. They're not in the common library yet, they will be at some stage, probably in the next few months, because we'll be wanting to use them obviously in other routes ourselves at some point, no doubt. The signal gantry at the south end, as you would expect, that's been done as a custom asset because it's such a big, bulky thing. So that in itself is a custom asset. Also the signal cages. These themselves are new assets to the Just Trains Common Library. And these have got, I think there's gantry hangers, but I think there's about 50 or 60 different variations of these which have fittings for feathers such as this one. So you can actually see the feather fitting going up there. And it just generally allows a lot more creativity with those and just look a lot better. So you've got the lines there into Edges Park. Derby Station itself, again, all custom asset, car parks and stuff like that. You've got the college and stuff over there as custom assets. You've got the old roundhouse, which you can see for itself is there. These offices are custom. The college buildings there, they're custom assets. You've got Pride Park Stadium over there, the home of Derby County FC. Derby Arena over the back. You've got a health and fitness club over here that's custom. And then on this side, some more custom assets here and here. And also there. And that's the Midland Institute or something. The office is obviously there custom as well, as is the overbridge on the road. In the further background, you've got a basic model of the Derby shopping district, which again is itself a custom asset. So we'll get ready to head on to the north. We've got two 222s over here. One's going south, one going north. We've got a Voyager over there. We'll be following both northbound trains. Before we do, I'll just quickly show you around Cheddar Curve as well. So this is Cheddar Curve as seen post remodelling. With the signals back here on the curve, this is where a lot of ECS moves will come around and reverse. Scenery around here is pretty basic, just because, as I said, the asset tower count and asset count on each tower around this area. We don't want to go over the top with it because it's not going to be used in many scenarios, generally speaking. So long as you're down here at track level and not like flying up here, your detail will be fine. It is pretty basic, but then it is a pretty basic yard in real life as well. So you've got stop board control in that end, and then signals on the way in. And then signals over here to take you back to Derby Station. So we'll get back in the cab, we'll head north, and I'll take you through the route generally as we go along. So we are now waiting for the road here. That is actually a custom signal right in front of us, a custom signal gantry. Some new custom signals on that side, lightweight signals. As you can see, the 222 is now leaving on the right, and the Voyager on the left will follow very shortly afterwards. And this, as you leave Derby, it's a 4-track railway. Train on the right should wait for the train on the left, I believe, the Voyager, which will gain priority. There it goes. So the Voyager will gain priority. You can already see the 222 has started slowing down actually. It'll get a single yellow just as it leaves the station area. We've now got a single yellow because we can carry on to line C, which is indicated on the signal in the theatre box there. So we've got a single yellow to leave the station area. So as we leave here, it's a 25 limit. Bear in mind, going the other direction on some of these lines, it's actually a different limit to what's indicated on the HUD, because you can only have one speed limit in Train Simulator. In each direction, I mean. So whatever speed limit applies in this direction on the track has to apply in the other direction on the track. So signage may differently reflect what's on the HUD. So as you can see, we've got a single yellow there. You can still see the 222 actually just in front of us in the distance. Also new in the common library are these letters that are placed above this gantry, indicating lines A, B, C and D as you're leaving Derby. I've got a single yellow just down to the next gantry now. In terms of route length on this route, you get 37 miles of track, which is Derby to Sheffield. The total price is £24.99. In terms of the overall development of the route, which I'll go into later, it's taken a different path for us in the overall development, and I will talk about that shortly, but you should hopefully see this is a generally much better route by Just Trains than we've seen in recent months and years. Purely because we have taken that different development path, which I will talk you through as we make progress in this scenario. So we're on a red signal once again. And this is, as you're coming out of Derby, you've got the bus depot over there. That in itself is a custom asset. These bridges are also a custom build, as is the NHS building over there in the background. So we're still at the moment, we're on a yellow signal. You got the footpath on this bridge as well, as per real life. As we've gone over that AWS ramp, the signal's cleared now to a single yellow. So we're now heading towards St Mary's South Junction. This is where we'll cross over to the down fast line, which is the one on the far left. We're currently on the Charlie line. This technically, I believe, is also the up fast. And the crossover for that is just sort of in front of us. If we'd have stayed on the track where we were just on, we're crossing over. As I said, this is going towards St Mary's North Junction, following this set here. So we'll cross right over, going over to the down fast now. Line speed 60 mph across this crossover, but we'll increase to, I believe it's 100 miles an hour just after this crossover is cleared. So this bridge in front is another custom asset, St Mary's Road Bridge. It's got the footbridge on the inside there and the road bridge in the middle. All this track has been relayed since the 2018 engineering works. We now have a green signal, so we can put full power down, 110 mph limit, as we head away from Derby. So we are now on the down fast. You've got the up fast alongside us and the up slow on the far side. All three lines at this point, I believe, are bi-directional. The one on the left may not be bi-directional actually, the two on the right of us are bi-directional. And then coming up on the left is Bredsall Loop. Bredsall Loop now diversion to the right, to the left, sorry. Panama piece there telling us that the signal on the gantry in front is clear. So the signal sections as you head north from Dronfield, they are quite long, and we'll probably catch one of those AI trains up. Hard to say because they do get a bit of a run away from here. They'll be able to speed before we are. Another custom bridge coming up in the distance. This carries a dual carriageway into Derby. So this is just heading away from Derby now. Bredsall Junction has just been passed. Just easing off the power because I have a feeling that we could be not far behind the two AI services as we get past Dronfield towards Belper. This is the widened alignment where I believe it was 4 tracks at one stage in a previous lifetime. And there we go, we're onto a double yellow now. Bear in mind that the signal sections are very long, over a mile to the next signal now. As we approach Duffield there, I will just pause the game so we can have a little look at some of the assets in this area. This bridge, fondly known as Poetry Bridge, I went and researched this one last September 2018, and that graffiti is actually on the bridge, so we called it quite fondly called it Poetry Bridge. Don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but that's photo texturing there that I took on the trip. Quite a simple footbridge, but we wanted to make it as a custom asset so the feel is right. And then down here you got Duffield Station. Of course, custom asset. All these bits are custom here on the inside. And then you've got the Ecclesbourne Valley Railway platform, just a basic model. The track carries on around there for about a quarter of a mile, just to a portal, so that people can run AI trains into here if they want, for scenarios. The buildings there are custom assets, and then again, Dronfield Station. I really like what Alex Penfold it was that did these assets. I really like what he did with these stuff, such as this station has been adopted by the Bosman Railway crest and the station signage, and generally trying to capture the feel of it. Small country station, single island platform. Actually got a HST heading in the other direction, so we'll just take a moment here and enjoy the scenes as the trains pass each other. Again, this is Duffield, about 5 miles north of Derby. So we're now heading towards Milford Tunnel. This is another custom 3-arch bridge in front of us. Banner repeating indicating the road is clear, but we don't know what the colour of the signal is. It's actually a green, so that we can open the power again, get the train back up to 110 miles an hour, ready for the run towards Belper. This is Milford Tunnel. Again, it's a custom tunnel portal, brand new tunnel portal. Some pretty cool stonework on this one actually. If you look at how Wilstead did it, he actually sort of did the real one has like ellipse on the inside, little ridges, and he actually put those into the model for us, and some pretty nice stone texture that I was quite happy with. The tunnel is about half a mile long, I think, something like that. I don't actually have any technical details on it, but that is roughly how long it is. So once we clear Milford Tunnel, it's then a straight run into Belper. You will notice the frame rate drops a bit around here simply because of how many assets there are on the tower around Belper. Another 222 heading south. Going to ease off a bit because I'm fully expecting we'll probably start seeing some yellow signals again at some point. So before we head through Belper, I'll once again show you around the area. This is the area in the cut-in just outside the station, outside the town, sorry. You've got some new assets here for the common library, these elevated cable troughs. They're brand new to the CL, so anyone that downloads this route, or any JT route actually, should get the new assets that have been put into the common library. Hopefully those will be useful to some people because they are popping up in a lot of places these days. All these cut-ins are custom lofted assets that have been made. And the reason there's so many assets on these tiles is because of stuff such as this fencing that I decided needed doing. It didn't look right, sort of bare on those gardens particularly. This area around Belper is custom. This is a part of the station model, the tunnel, and the small shopping area above. As can be seen there. These are in common library, these buildings here, but the actual shops area here is part of the station model, as is all this section, as you can see. Back of the shops, warehousing area, couple of delivery lorries, cars, pallets, stuff like that, sort of thing you expect to see behind some shops. Belper, I think, is probably my personal favourite station on the route. I think it captures the feel. I don't know about, well, I think they all capture the feel. I don't know about obviously Sheffield and Derby, they're huge stations, but I just like this one because it feels like a small country station somehow, a small town station. I just sort of really like it. I love this mosaic feature. Took that on my research trip again. It was the same trip I went on in September last year. I think it took 4 photos of it or 3 photos of it across, and Alex Penfold kindly actually managed to put it into the model. I'm really impressed with what I did with that. And then generally speaking, you've got all these other custom assets, signage, stuff like that placed around the station. Signs such as the Dirt Valley Mills World Heritage Site, flowers on the side of the garden. Just generally tried to capture the feel as much as we can, ticket machines and stuff like that. So we'll run the train through again, same as we did to the field. So we've just headed through the famous cutting there as you leave Belper, now heading north towards Broadholme loops, and then we go past Hamburgate Junction. The limit drops in about a mile to 80 mile an hour. That's for the section through Broadholme loops over the Derwent Valley Bridge near Ambergate, and then through Ambergate Junction itself because there's a sharp curve at Ambergate. So I just eased off the power there, shut off. It's a very, very gradual climb along this section. You'll start climbing towards Claycross, but it's really gradual to the point where you won't really notice it. You might have seen the train start wobbling a bit on that curve there, the junction, and quite a lot of the junctions on this route I have put heightened unevenness to try and capture the feeling of going over a junction. This bridge that we're approaching now is another custom asset by Wilstead. It's the Derwent River Bridge. It's two separate bridges. Probably the most scenic part of the route as we head through Broadholme loops. About to go north through Ambergate Junction where there are some bridges that are custom made, the viaducts. The Matlock branch goes off here, that is not included with the route, and I will reason that in a second when I get right past this interesting section. Into Toadmore Tunnel, very short tunnel past the start. I believe this was the site of Ambergate Station on the Midland Line. There is a station for scenario purposes on the Ambergate to Matlock line, very basic station just so you can do a scenario there if you want to. And we're now heading along the most scenic long section of this line, in my opinion, the section up to Claycross Junction. It's really, really nice varied section through the farm fields and stuff. So yeah, the reason the Matlock line's not included is it's 6 miles long. It's in a very sharp, steep valley. Those that know it will know what I mean. It's quite a tight valley there. And when you're doing valley building, it's a lot harder than if you're just building flat farmland and stuff like that. There wouldn't actually be that many custom assets. It's mainly stations that you need to do that route with. It's not like we'd have to do, 50 custom assets. But development time for me to do it properly, I would, in my opinion, I need 1 to 2 months minimum, which would cost JT, a couple of £1,000 at least. So you put that into perspective, obviously. You've got to work out then, are you going to get the sales money back? Are you going to be able to justify that and the amount of money back you can make from sales? And it's hard to say, certainly not without pushing the price up, and we believe that £25 already is the most UV wants to be selling this route for. I don't think many people want to pay £30 just to get that extra 6 miles to Matlock. If we can make it cost effective, it may follow as an extension in the future, but right now it wasn't cost effective to go into this initial route. And that's also the same reasoning behind why Barrow Hill and the Irwash Valley and stuff like that hasn't been included, although they would be a much harder job because Barrow Hill, for instance, would need the entire roundhouse modelling and stuff like that. It would be a lot bigger job than just doing an outside of a building. We want to do it properly with the inside and the turntable fully modelled. So in terms of the price, £25, £24.99 is what you pay for this route. You get the 37 miles, as I said. You do get, by my count, 120 new custom assets at least. That doesn't include all the station bits, which I believe there's at least 50 or 60 of, such as lamps, signs, benches. That's just including that 120 is just buildings, stations, bridges, stuff like that. It is not including the miscellaneous small things we've had made. It does include stuff that's gone into the common library, but that's budgeted as a part of the route still. It's not actually part of a separate budget, so everything has to be added to the budget. We've taken a different development path with this one, as I said. Unlike Western Main Lines, where we were doing this distance of route in 3 to 4 months, 5 months maybe, this route has been done in 7 months. For a 37 mile route, that's probably longer than average than what we've normally done, and obviously that is reflected there in the cost. We believe it's our best quality route to date. By no means are we saying it's the best that's out there, it's not necessarily, but it's our best route, we believe. We still know that there's room for improvement. There's things that we often talk about as a team that we want to improve, but we are firmly of the belief that this is our best work to date, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. Anything that you'd like to see us improve, we know there's a lot of people wanting the track improved and stuff like that. Please do let us know, we'll try our best to improve it. And as I said, overall the aim of this one has been to bring our quality up to an acceptable level for 2019, and we believe that we have managed to capture that with this one. So we're now heading along towards Claycross gradually. The bridge that we're just about to go under is another custom asset, that's High and Footbridge. And we're not far now from Claycross Tunnel, it's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles. Just past that signal, it's 1.5 miles away actually. A very gradual climb along here, 1 in 300. When we've done the track sides as well, as we're going to under another custom bridge there, when we've done the track sides on this, you can see we've done the cable troughing on the sides. We've also done as many of the drains as we've seen in cab videos, so all those drains are what I saw in cab video that I've been using for research from 225 Studios. You've got the gantry over the top there with 2 speed signs on it, which is rather unique, and this is now the long curve round into Claycross Tunnel from the south end. A very tall tunnel. Route does of course feature super elevation, by the way. Some of the curves north of Chesterfield is where you'll particularly be able to see that super elevation. Some of the ones down this end are a little bit less sharp, so you don't see as much tilting in there, leaning on there, but certainly north of Chesterfield is where you see the full effect of the super elevation. So about to come out of Claycross Tunnel, the awesome north mouth of Claycross Tunnel with its castellated ends. We tried to capture this as best we possibly could. And we now head round to Claycross Junction, Claycross North Junction coming up. This is the site where the Earwash Valley line joins on the right there from Towton and Nottingham and Leicester. It's a direct line avoiding Derby. And that is a custom bridge over the top. So we're now on the 4-track section, which will take us through to Tapson Junction just north of Chesterfield. Once again, the signal cages have been used to good effect on this part of the line. This area is where we put a lot of effort into all those trackside junction boxes and stuff. There was hundreds of places along this section. It was a really intense little area for them. So we're now taking it easy, we're doing 101 here. Limit is 110, but we're just taking it easy because we know we're following those 2 trains. One of which, or both of which, will stop at Chesterfield. Limit approach in Chesterfield will drop to 95 miles an hour. As we now head up towards Hasland. Chesterfield of course features its famous crooked spire, way up in the town. Major landmark on the route and has been done as a custom asset. Hasland here on the right, site of the Chesterfield rail cam, which you may find if you look closely in the route. So you will get a bit of tile stuck around here, and that is just because it is loaded in the huge tile at Chesterfield. It's one of the bigger ones on the route. And as we come along this section, I will just show you what Chesterfield is looking like. We've got all these junction boxes, what I was saying about how many there is here. Got the high-speed point motors, and literally hundreds of these damn little giant junction boxes placed everywhere. You can now see the crooked spire there, correctly pointing westwards as it does in real life. We tried to capture that as best we possibly could with a custom asset. And this is the road bridge going over the top. You got some custom restaurants down here, Banky and Fenny's, Mandu's, the Harvester pub, the Pub Arms, and then you got a Cineworld cinema, Filmtopia I think it's called, and then the McTrain's restaurant. Going further towards Chesterfield, as I said, you got the custom church. It's a pretty basic model because it is quite far out there away from the track, but it's nice enough so that you can go a bit closer if you want to. But as I said, it's a pretty basic model. Ignore the fact there's no scenery there, that's just because I've come up here and paused. So I can show you around Chesterfield station, obviously a big custom asset. We researched this one on our trip in February. And again, it's one of my favourite models that we've done at Just Trains actually. It's got the bridge over the river there. Lots of signage have been included. Platform 3 with its shelters and whatnot down that side. And we've got a double yellow by the looks here. So we are quite a long way behind those other trains, I would say. We should obviously get a green, I would have thought, around this area. So we'll now unpause the game. There'll be a little bit of tile stuck here as it's loading all this section around Tapton Junction in. So just ignore that. It's because I've come up here in pause mode rather than actually driving. Again, a custom asset here is the footbridge that photographers stand on at Tapton. And we're now heading northwards. Tapton Junction just passing now. This is where the diversionary route into Sheffield to the right goes off. You can go into Sheffield from the north. It's only included for about a mile for AI purposes. Now the main reason we haven't included that route into Sheffield is, as I've said, we need Barrow Hill Roundhouse. Expensive custom asset, but also the mileage of the route would have been expensive. And the most complex thing of all of it would have been the tram depot actually in Sheffield. Would have been quite a lot of work. And it would require really an add-on in itself. May follow a one day in the future, who knows. Depends how this route sells, to be honest. Future extensions are likely, but again, it all depends on how well this one sells in its first couple of weeks as to whether we see if there's momentum behind it or not. So we're heading north away from Chesterfield. This is where the climb steepens now to a 1 in 100 climb up to Bradway. Got another custom bridge here. This is one of my favourites on the route. Goes over the road there at Whittington. Also got this little playground, a general little village scene sort of going on. And we are now on the 1 in 100 climb. Still on green signals. 10 miles to go to Sheffield. If you are interested in extensions to this route, by the way, do leave a comment and we can sort of feed it back. As I said, I am the developer of this route, so I can sort of judge feedback based on what you see and you type in the comments. But if there's somewhere that you particularly like to see it go, let us know. We can see what people really want. I think probably the most likely one at first would be Nottingham direction and Leicester, because we feel like those are probably the ones that people will want the most because they want to go towards London. But it'll all be a case of how this does once it's immediately on sale, as to whether the cost would be sensible going forward. Ideally we'd love this route to be a new Western Main Lines in terms of the network, but that's all a long way in the future at the moment. So we're now on the 100 up towards Dronfield. Again, we'll have a little look around Dronfield because this is another custom station. We've actually got a double yellow here, which will give us a red. Just looking at where that red will be. Might be before the tunnel at Bradway. So this is Dronfield Station and Street. Small town. Nice little station. We've put quite a lot of detail into this one, such as the signage and stuff over here. Gradient posts and stuff like that. This little wagon actually features outside as well. This was done on a research trip last September by myself. All new stop boards as well with this route, generally speaking. There's some that were previously in the common library, but these are all new. They're not in the common library just yet, but they will be in the near future. That is the plan anyway. This custom hatching as well that I saw on the platform in real life. Initially when we actually got this build made, I thought that was too wide, but looking at the actual photos of the place that I took, that is exactly how it is. It goes right up to the bridge there. So we're flying up the hill here. We're going to have to shut off in a minute if this signal doesn't clear, which it doesn't look like it's going to do. Because we've only got just over a mile until we'll be seeing the red signal. Oh, it's gone to green now. There is quite a long section as you go through Bradway Tunnel where you can just see the summit there. There's also a custom little shopping retail park here. 2 stores. As we did get a double yellow there, I'll shut the power off. Even though it's over a mile and a half until we actually get to the red signal. Banner Peter has told us there that this signal as well is yellow. It is a double yellow signal though, so we're fine to continue at this speed. We're now heading into Bradway Tunnel. This signal inside the tunnel is a repeater. So this is just repeating the aspect at the end of the tunnel in just over a mile. The tunnel's just over a mile in length. We're now dropping down the one in 97 towards Darwin Totley and beyond to Sheffield. Just applying some brakes as dropping down this hill. Line speed of course drops to 70 on this curve. The line away to the left is the junction that goes onto the Hope Valley. We're on a single yellow now, so we'll be getting a red potentially. Brakes now applied very hard just so we can try and get the train slowed down for this potentially red signal. Just a quarter of a mile ahead on the curve. Interesting feature to note as we come around here towards Darwin Totley is the barrier fence, which I'm zooming in to show in a second. Just check the speed. And this fence here is blocking us from seeing a red aspect on the inside because drivers could come around here at 70 miles an hour if that wasn't there and potentially see a red aspect on the signal, which is on the Hope Valley side. So we have still got a red signal here. and this will be because we're going to be following a unit, or waiting for a unit to come south, sorry, out of Sheffield and cross over towards Liverpool. May well be following this 158 that's just passing us now. So as we stop there at Dronfield, we'll have a little look at the station. The building itself is custom. This shelter here is a custom asset. Signage is custom. The platform itself is not a custom asset specifically for this route. Wasn't deemed necessary really. The buildings behind are actually a custom asset. They're taken from the real flats. I love the signage on the back here. The door to India. Got the car park over there as well. So this line here is the Hope Valley that heads towards Manchester. It's just included for about half a mile or so you can get some AI in there, should you want to. And we are now, I can hear a train coming, I can see a 158 coming up the hill now. And that is what we'll be waiting for. That'll be a Norwich to Liverpool service. The service that we saw going the past us in the other line a minute ago, the 158, that'll have been a service to Norwich from Liverpool. I think I got that mixed up at the time. So this 158 has priority. We're a little bit early, I think, on book timings. He will head off on the Hope Valley side over there. Bit of a bottleneck on the route. And we should get a green signal once he clears the junction, which is about half a mile in front of us. And there we go, we got the green now, which means we can continue down the hill into Sheffield. Acceleration down this section nice and easy. The 1 in 100 downhill gradient all the way into Sheffield essentially. And this is the junction where the 158 has just crossed over. It's crossed from the up line over the down line and then onto the Hope Valley line there, which goes itself back to double track just before Totley Tunnel. So the limit here is 90 miles an hour for HSTs, 80 miles an hour for other traffic. Another custom bridge there. I mean that was the site of Bow Chief Station, I think it was, I believe. And we're now heading down the hill. I'm going to shut the power off because we don't really need to be on the power anymore. Coming down towards the old site of Millhouses Station. Got some custom superstores just past here as well. We've got a Tesco and a Sainsbury's. It's about Tesco for licensing reasons. Archer Road Bridge here over the top. Another custom asset and then the next one as well. Both custom bridges as we now get a double yellow. A little bit of tile stuck there. On the left is, on the right, sorry, is Healy Loop. As you come in along here, you do get some nice views over the Sheffield area. Worth noting as you come in along the section into Sheffield is that the reason the frame rate does drop a bit is because of how much is going on around here. With it being a valley, so much has to be crammed in, you can't sort of dodge doing detail. You have to put the detail in there. Oops, pressed the wrong button. Another custom set of bridges here, as well as some of our new graffiti assets which are placed. Getting a single yellow now on the run down into Sheffield. The salt igloo on the right, you can just see coming into view in the distance, that's itself a custom building. And then we've got the really intense area of custom assets which I will show once we actually pull into Sheffield Station. Just taking it steady as we come around under this bridge here. Expecting to get a red signal which will clear to a shunt signal. And set for the Sheffield DSS road. Which you just did. Set for the through road with the shunt signal lit. Over there on the right you can see the Sheffield Super Tram line coming down at a steep gradient from that bridge. That'll go above Sheffield train station. Sheffield railway station, sorry. So that'll go above Sheffield railway station. You got the Sheffield tram link station up there. We don't have any trams included with the route. Again, it's not the sort of thing that's sensible if you want to keep within a budget. It's a very basic build, it's not really like, you know, obsessively done with the OHLE or anything like that, it's just there for the appearance to show that from the cab obviously you can see that the tram line is there. As we now come into the station at Sheffield. This is where the gradient does end as we're approaching into the station. Sheffield has 8 platforms. We're going into one of the middle roads here. The 222 that we've followed from Derby has terminated here at Sheffield and is on our right. And we'll pull a reasonable way down here just to clear the points and everything at the south end of this loop. So before that scenario ends, we'll just take a quick look around Sheffield station and the general area. Class 158 over there in the bay platform, having much servicing from Leeds, no doubt. A number of custom buildings around Sheffield. Again, we've not gone crazy with detail around here because it's not on the station for starters. But also we want to keep the frame rates respectable. If you're looking that way now, you're only getting 20 to 25 frames because of all that going on up there. And wasting frame rates trying to put little things in here, I don't think it's wise personally. Park Hill Flats, the council estate is up there. Part way through restoration when we started building the route, I think it was. So you got the restored bit on the left there, and then over on the right, the original look. Some custom signals at Sheffield, such as this one here. People that know the area will know that one. This is my favourite actual platform on this route. I love this sort of closed in feel down the back. Platform 8, you got platform 7 over here, the bay. 6 and 5. 2 more through roads. General bits of detail going on inside Sheffield Station as well. You got the concourse area over here with the coffee shops. And then you got platform 4 and 3, that's those 2 bays there. You got 2A, as daft as it sounds, 2C right down here because I guess it counts as a part of this one, This one's 2C. Just sort of dumped out of the way. I think that's used for services to Manchester. You got station signage, which is custom. The car park's a custom asset. Obviously Sheffield Hallam University is a custom building. The signal box, the depot's custom. Up here you got the tram link. As I said, it's a basic representation. It's not intended for you to go like zooming in and looking at. It's just there so that when you're on the station, it's in the background. There's not just like nothing there. Simple depot at Sheffield on the for DMUs. Obviously these 2 bridges are custom. The wall in here is custom as well. These are my favourite personal bridges on this route. Some really nice texturing and stuff going on them. The wash road there. Bit more graffiti from the recent graffiti pack that we've been making. And then the tram link, the super tram goes up over that bridge there. College itself is no custom asset, as are these tunnels, these bank tunnels. The warehouse here, custom asset. Other little features, there's actually 3 football stadiums. Bramwell Lane, home of Sheffield United, is there. So there's 4 football stadiums in the route. We've got the original Sheffield FC at Dronfield. That's the world's first ever football club. You've got Chesterfield FC at the Proac Stadium in Chesterfield. That's a custom asset. And as I said earlier, Derby County FC. Their stadium, Pride Park, is also included as a custom building. Custom assets is where a lot of the expense on this route has gone to make buildings and tunnels such as this one. Anyway, we've got the outside area of Sheffield Station as well, this water and the features and stuff going on out here. There is the potential that we'll add some sort of sprays, maybe from an Irish TT wagon or otherwise in the future. At present we haven't got anything. It's something that we're going to look into possibly. It's been brought to our attention on the stream, so obviously it's something that probably not necessarily needed, but something that I think people would like seeing as just an extra feature. We've run out of time to get that in really now. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it makes you want to purchase the route. As I said earlier, please let us know if you've got any possible extensions that you want us to do and stuff like that, and we'll take them on into account. More custom signalling going on there. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. It's due out this route. The Midland Mainline Sheffield to Derby will be on sale from justtrains.net from Thursday, the 17th of October 2019. It'll be available for £24.99. Comes with 15 scenarios with 12 duplicated versions for use with just the Kuju pack, which is the European low-con asset pack, which is a requirement for the Route 2. Then there's also 15 versions of the scenarios, and you get a variety such as this one, which is included with the Route 1 Q34. And there's a wide variety of operations, stuff like Class 20s are used, Class 60s, Class 66s from various developers as well. Not just trains add-ons, as stuff from Steam, stuff from DTG, stuff from Amazon Powerhouse are used. Various add-ons that have been used across there to try and give people that bit of variety. I know some people say, well, we need all the requirements for the scenarios, but the alternative is that there's no scenarios or whatever, so that's kind of where we were looking at with that. We just want to give people what we can. There's also quick drives included. They were kindly made by Max Mortimer of Alan Thompson, sorry. He made the quick drives for us. There's a variety of routings there. He also did preloads for the quick drive scenarios there, which include a number of realistic consists, such as the 222, as you can see there. He's put in a lot of work into those, and I really hope you like driving those quick drives. I know we've tried to do those before, and they've been a bit of a mess. And it's thanks to guys such as Max Mortimer and previously Ash Clark for doing such good jobs with recent quick drive contests and stuff, so that we actually have a realistic experience going on in there. So as I said, the quick drives, thanks to Max at Alan Thompson Sim for doing those for us. Appreciate his time on that. Again, remember, this is not a review of the route. They'll probably review some other people. I suspect Alan Thompson himself might do one at some point. I'm not sure, but I would expect he will do. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've tried to give you a little bit of insight into the route and what's been going on, why we've made it, and stuff like that. We really want to try and extend this route, and we really need it to be supported with sales guys, and we really do appreciate. I personally appreciate your customer, appreciate your support, and I appreciate your criticisms as well. And just thank you generally for your time and everything watching this video and taking note of our content over recent years. Apologies for the long time there's been between videos as well, because I know there's been quite a while there where we've not done anything. Hopefully now we've got this route out of the way, we'll be able to do a few more videos. Just keep yourself on the page, on the Train Sim TV YouTube page. Please do like, subscribe, comment. Helps us to grow as a channel, and we really appreciate that. Don't forget to check out Tom on Twitch. He's usually on Twitch on Train Sim TV. He's on twitch.tv/Train Sim TV. Twitch.tv/Train Sim TV_Tom. He's usually live Wednesdays and Fridays, and some Sundays. And you also find him on Just Trains TV on a Monday. I hate this part of doing the videos because it's so complicated and I always mess it up, so sorry for that. But yeah guys, thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and see you later guys. Goodbye.